Okay, Julia, thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast. We're so excited to have you. I know this has been a long time in the making, so we're really excited to have you. And I'm excited to dive in. How are you doing today?
Just great. I appreciate you inviting me, Jesse. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Good, good. Well, let's dive right into the questions. So, you've had a remarkable career, 20 years at HP, executive leadership, and now author and coach. What inspired you to make the leap from a tech executive to helping others find meaningful work?
I've always loved coaching and mentoring, really to help people grow and realize their potential. When I turned 50, I realized I wanted more autonomy over my schedule, my ability to call my own shots without having to build consensus, and to engage in work every day that's consistent with my values. I didn't want to abandon tech as an industry. I wanted to reshape how I worked within it. So I researched multiple business models and kept coming back to executive recruiting because I could connect great people with great companies to do amazing things together. That was really interesting to me. So I hired a business coach. I learned the recruiting business, and 6 months later, I resigned, much to everyone's surprise. And recruiting turned out to be a natural transition because it's a relationship business. And those long-standing tech relationships that I built, these people became my clients and my candidates. About a year in, I noticed a pattern. Senior executives started asking me for help beyond recruiting to help them manage their career transitions. They didn't know where to start. Historically, opportunities came to them, but the tech labor market shifted, as you know, Jesse. And while these
Hmm.
executives had deep competencies, they lacked a repeatable process for navigating career transitions when they needed to make a change. That's when I became a certified career coach, and I eventually pivoted fully away from recruiting and into coaching. And that work led to my book, Discover Meaningful Work. It's a workbook for professionals in the tech industry, and it captures the framework that I use today.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I mean, obviously, I'm sure everybody was surprised, to 6 months later to quit your job and then start pursuing this path, right? It's so awesome to see. And I'm curious because you've worked with professionals navigating layoffs, big transitions. What do you see is the most common mistake executives make right after being let go or deciding to leave?
Yeah, they go straight into execution mode. That's what I see. Executives are wired to solve problems, so they update their resume, apply for the same roles at similar companies. Some of them even tell recruiters, I'm open to anything, which is the last thing a recruiter wants to hear. So, from my perspective, a career transition, whether it's voluntary or not, is an opportunity for self reflection before taking action. This is really the moment to ask, what do I actually want from my career now? Speed without clarity can lead to the wrong landing. So clarity is actually a competitive advantage. It makes you a stronger, more compelling candidate because you know who you are and what you're looking for. So I encourage people to start with my career satisfaction assessment in just 5 minutes. It provides insight into what needs to change with your career. I completed it myself as we started 2026, and it's a powerful reset.
Yeah, and where could they do that? Where is that located?
Sure, it's on my website, discovermeaningfulwork.com, and
Okay.
it's a free download on my website.
Okay. Amazing. And I've got another question for you, but before I get into that, what is the typical discovery that they find when they go through that process?
There's something really interesting about, thoughts and ideas that roll around in our head, but then putting a ranking on them. So in this career assessment, you put a number that, from 1 to 10 on your satisfaction level. And there's something about ranking like that and quantifying it that really provides clarity on what the top three issues are. Oh, gosh, yeah, those are the three things I need to make sure I fix with this next
Mm.
career transition.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And we've hinted at your book, Discovering Meaningful Work, right? So your new book, Discover Meaningful Work, offers 5 phases or a 5 phase process, right? So could you walk us through one or two of those phases and how they help people gain clarity?
Sure. The most important phases are phase one and phase two. The first phase is career exploration. And this is the phase where you get clarity before taking action. You identify your strengths, your values, what success truly means to you at this stage of your life. Because building a career aligned with your strengths has an immeasurable impact on your quality of life. So self-reflection during this first phase can really help you understand what you really want from your career in 2026 and beyond.
Mm.
The second phase is market research. This phase really opens your eyes to what's actually possible, and it may be a lot more than what you think. There are countless companies doing amazing work, but you may not find them without doing some research. And AI has made this so much easier. It's such a powerful tool when you're in this research mode. I often encourage tech executives and tech professionals to explore tech adjacent industries because many of them are enjoying strong growth. Some examples of tech adjacent industries are industrial automation, automotive, medical device, ag tech. These industries are deploying software and digital tools really rapidly, and they value tech leaders who can bring in best practices from the tech industry.
Mm. That's so interesting. And I know some recruiters, will advise, hey, don't look in other industries or it'll be a larger hurdle. Do you find it, I wasn't planning on asking this, but I'm curious, do you find it a little bit longer of a process when they are looking into other industries, or do you find that when it is slightly related, that still a pretty smooth transition?
Yeah, it's a great question. Can I tell you a story about a real executive that I worked with on that kind of a transition?
Yeah, please.
Great. So she came to me and she said, Julia, I have to leave this toxic work environment. It's crushing my soul. And she was in a SaaS company at the time. She was open to tech adjacent industries. So I introduced her to a customer success leadership position at Rockwell Automation. They're a great company, a leader in industrial automation, which is an industry that's growing and has a lot of opportunity, especially in their software business unit. So it was a perfect match. She thrived there for over 4 years, and they really valued her experience that she brought in from tech. So then, after 4 years, she was recruited to become a chief customer officer in a tech company. So that breadth of experience that she gained by pivoting over to a tech adjacent industry really made her a stronger C-suite candidate. And a key point that you and I had talked about before, Jesse, is that growth industries create a tailwind for your career. However, declining ones create a headwind. So looking at the growth of the industry couldn't be more important right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to put it because I think a lot of people, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I see is a lot of times people will take a position because it's the first one that's available, not the best one for them. And if they can
Yes,
get some clarity, understand the direction that they're wanting to go, understand the industry that they're diving into, right? It sounds so simple, but a lot of people don't do it because when it's somebody's job, it's their livelihood, it's how they feed their kids, their wives, or their husbands, their
sure.
families. It gets a little bit more intense, and you sometimes don't go through all the simple steps. And so I think it's such a good thing to
Yeah,
think about, have the clarity, make sure that you understand where the industry's going, right? It's kind of
right.
like, I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show The Office, but it's just like The Office with the paper company, right? They start a
Yeah,
competing paper company and it's a declining industry, but they didn't look that far into it. It's just what they knew, right? And so sometimes it's better to look at
yeah,
not what you just know, but what's going to be best for the rest of your career. So,
yeah, totally. And to your point, I encourage people to take a week off, especially if they've been laid off and they didn't see it coming. Take a
mm,
week off, spend time around the people who love you and get support from them and just kind of catch your breath. And then this whole exploration and research, it doesn't have to take months. You can do it in a matter of weeks, especially if you have a methodology like I lay out in the book. You just march through the process. It doesn't have to take long, but to your point, it's time well spent to really pull back, think about the kind of environment you want to work in, the kind of work that you love and don't love, what plays to your strengths, where's the growth. It's a very important process if you want to have the next move you make really be meaningful and have some length to it, right? Have some legs to it.
I love that. I love that. And I'm curious, in your experience, how can executives realign their roles with their values without necessarily quitting?
Sure, great question, because quitting isn't always the right answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can redesign your work, right, and do that right where you are. And that's really the first step that I encourage people to make. Can you make improvements in the company that you're in? What that might look like, it could be renegotiating the scope of your role,
Hmm.
redefining what success looks like,
Hmm.
could be choosing projects that align more closely to your values, or a big one is shifting how you lead your team if you're a leader. I know for me, when things felt out of control above me, I doubled down with my team. Helping other people grow was a great source of meaning, even during difficult chapters in my career. And I know a lot of people, really invest in their teams when there's a lot of chaos going on around them. So meaning can come from impact, influence, or mentorship, not necessarily a new title. So
Yeah.
I encourage people, before you change companies, try changing how you show up. Take a good look at how you're showing up and seeing if there are opportunities there.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I mean, you hear it a lot, or at least I do, and just the conversations I'm having right now is, lots of times when life's hard, best thing to do is how can you focus on other people? How can you focus on building, growing your team, your organization, things that you can control and you can directly impact, and it actually grows and helps you flourish and enjoy what you're doing more, which is weird. It's a weird, byproduct that you get when helping others. When you don't focus on yourself and you focus on others a little bit more, it actually helps you a lot.
Yeah, totally, totally. And if you pick up new skills in that process as well, so you're growing professionally and increasing your marketability, that's a double benefit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, I love all these thoughts, and I'm curious, Julia, for people that are going to listen to this, what's the best way to follow you to get your book, right? And follow along and learn more.
Sure, thank you. The best way is to reach me through my website, discovermeaningfulwork.com. There's a link to my book on Amazon there. I have several downloads, career assessments, and different downloads you can take a look at on the website. You can also interact with me by just filling out a contact form. It'll come to my email, and would enjoy talking with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much, Julie. We'll love to have you on again and talk more about maybe some more details of the book and dive in even in more depth. So thank you so much. We're excited to have you on and have you on again.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Thank you.